Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 12th of June, 2021. Coming up, the Crusty Canuck podcast, episode 132. More political shame. Yes, politicians using the catastrophe in London, Ontario as a political platform to further divide us. All that and more coming up in the show. Please stick around.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
Mama always said I had a face for radio.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. Listener discretion is advised. I like to use bad, big, nasty words. And please, this is not meant for children. So with that out of the way, if you like and hear what you see, please click like, share, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Pass it all around. Let's get the independent algorithm going in our favor, ladies and gentlemen. So as I said, political share. Again, I was watching the press conference they had on Tuesday. It was, funny enough, just after I published my last episode. So I guess you can say this is part two to my last one. But anyway, I'm not going to divulge too much in that. What I'm going to divulge in is just the disingenuous approaches that I've seen from our leaders in regards to this catastrophe. Now, I'll sum it up, basically. This is my opinion, okay? You don't have to take it as fact or anything you want, and you're more than welcome to debate me and challenge it and all that other good stuff. But let me be blunt here, okay? It was devastating what happened to that family. It was. And it's devastating for anything like that to happen to anyone, period. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, a Buddhist, Sikh, atheist, or if you're a sun worshiper or a monkey worshiper. I don't care. That's the freedom we're supposed to have in this country. We are supposed to have the freedom to promote and preach our gospels at any given day, any given time. That's supposed to be in our charter. But I'll get to the charter points later. Anyhow, what happened in London, Ontario was fucking devastating. I agree. Terrible. Terrible fucking act of disgrace. Terrible act in general. For some shithead kid to take a truck and do something stupid like that. Now, there's lots of speculation. And of course, mainstream media and of course the mainstream moguls and leaders alike are sitting there pointing fingers. Oh, it's an act of white supremacy. Oh, it's an act of terror. Oh, it's an act of racism. Oh my goodness, racism, terror, white supremacy, racism, terror, white supremacy. The same fucking narrative, again, that Mr. Jagmeet Singh, Trudeau, and now Mr. Aaron O'Toole is starting to promote, okay? Now, let's get a few things straight here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you, and I've said this before numerous times on the show. I was not raised in a household where my father would pull me aside and tell me to hate somebody. Nor did my mother pull me aside and tell me to hate somebody. And regardless of how imperfect parenting can be, especially where I grew up at the time, okay, my parents never told me to hate anybody because of their faith or because of the color of their skin. Okay? So for any politician, whether it be an up-and-comer such as myself, or other individuals from other parties that want to join this bandwagon or that bandwagon, okay, I can honestly say we're not raised with that fucking mentality, okay? But if these leaders, and it doesn't matter if they're NDP, Liberal, Conservative, Green, what have ya, you're all starting to turn fucking yellow. Catch my drift? Okay? I'm seeing more disingenuous bullshit when it comes to actually dealing with proper fucking problems. Okay? Now, we don't have all the details yet on Mr. Nathan Veltman? Okay? Which isn't a Jewish name, so to all those so-called anti-Semites out there, those anti-Israel types out there, okay? He's not a Jewish kid. Apparently he's Dutch. That was what I got from Rebel Media. And that's what I got from other opinions too. Okay? Now, apparently this young man has had trouble most of his natural life. And I will have the links in the description to back that up. Okay? So let's get rid of this dogma and let's get rid of this mantra of always calling someone a Nazi or someone a racist or a white supremacist that commits a crime and just because they happen to be white. In no way am I condoning what happened in London, Ontario. Nobody, as far as I know, in my circle, in my family, in my life, will condone any kind of act like that whatsoever. Okay? Now, I'm watching the footage as we speak right now on CTV. I got the volume down there. But a very, very passionate, heartfelt funeral. You know, a lot of Muslim Canadians, a lot of Christian Canadians, a lot of unified people out there mourning the loss of that family, which to me shows great solidarity. It does. It's fucking fantastic. But what I don't like about it, okay, what I don't like about it too is that from being a soldier, from serving overseas, to dealing with tyranny like that, to dealing with real fucking fear, real terrorists, okay, I find it really disingenuous that these leaders have sat there, used the tax-paying soapbox to talk about more racial divide, okay? So in a way, you can sit there and say, oh, they're standing up for justice and honor and fairness and equality, great. But they keep pointing fingers at groups of people. So you're fighting a fire with more gasoline. You're not using common sense and proper fucking logic, okay? Now, I like to remind my listeners, too, that every time you look at anybody in Parliament, anytime you look at anybody in Queen's Park from Toronto or any MLA in any other province, especially here in Alberta, when you look across the room and you see those live feeds when they have their debates and their talks in Parliament, take a look at how many diverse people that are there, okay? I'm not going to say people of color because it sounds like you're selling a car. I'm talking about people. Whether they be black or white or pink, or if they represent this faith or represent this way of life or whatever way of life, okay? I personally don't care who's gay. I don't care who's straight. I don't care who's bi. I didn't realize that's a qualification you need in a job application. When I go for a job, my employer doesn't ask me, how do you perform in the bedroom? It's nobody's fucking business. And I'm sure my wife wouldn't like that kind of details being brought out to the general public too. So when we look at all this diversity and inclusion, okay, we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's represented. It's represented in every house of power, every parliament, every legislation, every town hall, every community little get-together. It is there, okay? Now, what annoyed me the most this whole week too is the constant speculation of what motivated this young man. Okay? We're not finding the brass tacks. We're not finding the actual meat and potatoes of the situation. We're not looking at the foundation of why he did it. Okay? We can always look at the foundation and what Paul Bernardo did. I remember that case back in the early 90s. Okay? And the mysterious quote-unquote videotapes that showed up after the conviction of them both. Right? Little things like that. And we also forget, too, to look at the facts as well. Because when the Danforth shooter did his thing, mental issues. Yes, of course, he had mental problems. Even though he was associated with his brother who had carfentanil, and they had illegal firearms, lots of firearms, ISIS materials in their apartments, okay, respectively. But he had mental issues. And then when the people of that area began to do a united march and mourning the loss of those individuals, okay, everyone was saying, shh, don't say this, that's racist. Or don't say that, that's racist. Oh, it's racist. And yet this guy was guided by other principles other than his mental condition. Okay? What were the principles to that individual that shot up those people in Nova Scotia last year? Okay? He was on the police radar, apparently. He did some nasty things to his partners before, right? What was done about that? Was that deemed as an act of terrorism too? Right. How about the Toronto 18? Remember that little Farbergarb that happened? 18 individuals that were arrested because they had conspiracies to commit a heinous crime in the Toronto subway. Right? Was that a terrorist act? How about the individual that took the rented a rider van and started mowing down people because he was a lonely single male who couldn't get ahead? People calling him an incel, what have you. How about that individual? Was that a terrorist act? Oh, no, he had mental problems. The individual in Edmonton that drove a truck and stabbed a few cops and ran more people over, who had an ISIS flag in the cab of said truck too. Was that conceived a terrorist act? Not right then and there. Oh, no, we can't do this. We can't do that. Oh, no, this is, we can't speculate this, right? But all of a sudden, here's a 20-year-old kid who's had problems himself too, okay? And like I say again, I'll say this again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not condoning any of their actions whatsoever. It's just what we're being told and what we're not being told. And I think we got to start being a little more critical.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And that's right, too, ladies and gentlemen. Please check me out in Supercast. Just follow the green check mark in the description link. Join Supercast today for $5 a month, and you'll get yourself all of my Crusty Canuck episodes, all the audio, censorship-free. It's a Canadian-based company, and they are also supporting Canadian podcasters such as myself and others. So please consider joining me on Supercast today, $5 a month. I like to make this a full-time commitment, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very, very thankful to all my fans and subscribers out there who've made it possible. So please keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and share this beautiful podcast all over the place. The best of your ability. Anyway, carrying on again. More of the shame politicians. Okay? Now, I've had aspirations to get into politics, and I still do. As a member of the Veterans Coalition Party, right, we are a firm believer in democracy. We are a firm believer in proper fairness and equality, meaning we give people jobs that want them. And we base those decisions based on merit, not based on color or creed or what you do in your bedroom. That's irrelevant. Okay? We base it on being really fair and being open and being diverse to the best of our ability, meaning we accept and appreciate diversity of ideas, not just so much of the color of someone's skin or someone's gender or someone's identity. You'll be hard-pressed to find anybody in the VCP party telling you you can't have a job because you represent this. Right? In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find any place in society that is deemed to be as racist as these politicians say it is. And yet they forget what elected them. They forget what put them in power. They forget that they have a great comfy job making a base salary of $183,000 or more a year just to represent their riding. Right? So when someone tells you this country is racist and it's full of terrible, terrible things, well, maybe at one time it was, but now, no. No, I know for a fact that you get out in the world and you hustle your butt and you do what you can to get ahead. It can be done in this country still. Knock on wood, hopefully. They might make another regulation towards doing that too, right? But we got to be a little more realistic, a little more understanding here too. What happened in London, Ontario was a devastating thing. What happened in Nova Scotia last year was a devastating thing, right? Those individuals that were hurt in Edmonton by that crazy fucking ISIS wannabe fucking terrorist was a terrible thing. Those 10 people that were hurt and killed, the 10 people that were killed by that crazy fucking van driver is a terrible thing. But we have to start calling things what they are, not just based on speculation or based on hearsay, okay? We need more information on what Veltman was doing. And ironically enough, it takes the Queen's Bench to sit there and put gag orders on things when it comes to investigating crimes, when it comes to getting to the point of something. But last time I checked, freedom of press and expression was allowed. Okay? Now, when you watch the footage of that rally they had after the fact, okay, and all these religious zealots were up, Muslim and Christian alike, okay, and of course politicians weighing in, freedom of expression is essential regardless of what faith you are. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're Sikh and Hindu, doesn't matter if you're Jewish, doesn't matter if you're Muslim or Christian, doesn't matter if you're atheist. Freedom of expression is key, period. Okay? But when individuals sit there and talk about, oh, we have the right to express ourselves. Yes, you do. Just as much as I do, just as much as you do. But then when you turn around and lock up parishioners for not following quote-unquote health regulations, now, note I say regulations, not laws, okay, then you're being a hypocrite, okay? What's good for the goose is good for the fucking gander, period, okay? No longer am I going to accept anyone saying to me, freedom of speech is okay, but freedom of expression is okay, but freedom of the press is okay, but the moment you put "but" in front of it, As far as I'm concerned, the moment your argument is null and void, and I got no time for your bullshit. Because then you're going to turn around and talk about feelings and safe spaces, or that generalization, or geared towards that ideology. Okay? There was something I was watching today from Larry Elder. One hell of a scholar and statesman, too. He's probably one of my favorite Americans. I like watching his show. I'll leave a link to his recent episode there. You decide yourself, talking about capitalism and all this stuff, and some of the communist wannabes that he's talked to. So I'll let you decide. But it was a very, very good episode in regards to capitalism and how people can get out of it and get into it, or not get out of capitalism, I mean get into it to build their lives better. Okay? And I'm not saying build back better. I'm saying build your own life better. That's up to you as an individual to make that happen. But I digress here. Carrying on with more shameful politicians. More bullshit again. You know, I just turned the TV off now. I'm not watching anymore because I just get so tired of the politics. Now, granted, they wrap their caskets in the Canadian flag. Honorable. Genuine. And my sincerest condolences out there, anybody who's in the London area who's listening to this show. My deepest and sincerest condolences to lose loved ones in that capacity. To lose loved ones, period. You know, I've been friends of mine, colleagues of mine that I've buried. My mother, my grandfather, other friends in my life. And I know the feeling. And it eats at your soul, ladies and gentlemen. I get it. But regardless of what has happened this past year, with all the beer bug BS, with all the mantras and the mandates for injections and getting jabs, and then finding out what's happening more with the residential schooling history, I find that our leaders are not taking responsibility. And I've called them on this before. They're not. Let's just jump on the bandwagon and look virtuous and make ourselves look fantastic and sexy and make sure the aesthetics is all together. See, that's what gets me, though, about aesthetics. It's like we're all guilty of looking at that beautiful girl in school and go, oh, wow, and all the girls are going, oh, wow, look at this guy, what a hunk. And regardless of what your sexuality is, I think you get my point. But at some point in your life, you realize that there's more to looks than just the nice hair and the nice teeth and the makeup and looking good in a swimsuit. It's what's inside the person that counts, right? It's the genuine characteristic that can eventually attract you to somebody, like a sense of humor, you know, or a sense of ambition or a discipline or how they treat others, right? We all look at these factors. So it doesn't matter how pretty something is. It doesn't matter how beautiful it looks on the inside. Or correction, on the outside. It's the inside that counts, right? Without sounding like an old wife tale. When you buy a house, okay? Yes, you look at the paint, you look at the ceiling, you look at the frame, you look at the power, you look at the area it's in, the nice yard. Does it have a beautiful kitchen? Oh, that's nice. A beautiful living room? Oh, great. We can entertain and have parties and raspberry ales and margaritas. Oh, my. Craft beer all around. Oh, yay. Right? Great backyard, great deck, great patio, what have you. Good roof, good shingles, great windows. Oh, look at this, Martha. They're energy efficient. What a fantastic idea. Oh, wow. We're going to save oodles when it comes to the carbon tax. A lot of people forget the basic principle of looking for a home, too. It's foundation. Okay? Now, whether it's an anchored foundation or whether it's on a platform or whether it's set on pillars or you got a full-blown basement, right? The foundation is key. Okay? You could look at a shithole that needs paint and needs some siding. But if the foundation of said home is fucked, it's going to cost you either $25,000 later on down the road or $50,000 later on down the road. So all the time and effort you've put in the aesthetics of your new home and the appearance of your home, the base of your home is gone to shit. And that's the thing, folks. We got to work on our base. We got to work on our foundations. Okay? We got to work on the foundation of something because it doesn't matter how much makeup, how much hair gel you put in, or how many times you shave your head, or how many times you work out and make your muscles look good, or how many times that token hottie looks great in a one-piece swimsuit. Right? The foundation needs the utmost upkeep. That means the inside. That means what's holding it up. Okay? That means what's holding up your home, what's holding up your heart, what's holding up your heads. That needs the work. So you can lay all the paint you want on it. You can lay out the brand new siding all you want, the energy efficient windows, and host all the great cocktail parties you desire. Because without the fucking foundation, you've got nothing. Okay? So the base of your home needs work. Making sure everything's together, making sure there's no cracks, making sure it holds water, it repels water, it holds in the heat, keeps energy alive. Just like your heart, that you hold good things in your heart, proper scruples, proper agendas, whatever rocks your boat. Live the life you want to, as long as you don't hit people, take their stuff, that kind of thing. That kind of reinforcement. So like I say, without the foundation, you got fuck all, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And after watching the display of these leaders and those politicians sitting there tooting and hollering, calling this racist, calling that racist, and then that individual too who ever so elegantly said what's happening in Israel is happening here in Canada, I think we need work in our foundation, folks. Like I say, you can dress up the house all you want. Nice blue paint, nice siding, great windows. It looks great, looks sexy. Oh, what a beautiful garden home. But with the proper foundation, the base holding it up, we got fuck all.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.
Yeah, exactly. And smack thy ass I shall. Anyway, carrying on, ladies and gentlemen. More shameful politicians and no foundation. That's the thing. We got to work in the foundation. Over the past 6 years, I've looked at many things in my life. I've looked at many issues and many little demons that made their appearances. And I've done my best to deal with them. And I'm not perfect. I never said I was. I never claimed to be perfect. If I was perfect, I would not be doing this show. I would be doing something totally different. But perfection is just a goal. It's an individual goal to strive to. And it's a good one. It's a very fucking good one. But in the same sense, though, when I look at my upbringing and the things that were taught to me and passed down, right, without trying to sound like some bad martial arts movie in the old grasshopper routine, okay, I'm trying to be realistic here. And after just watching this whole thing on mainstream media, I am still thankful to be a Canadian. I'm still thankful to live in a country where we can still, hopefully, without C10 rearing its ugly fucking head, okay, we can still speak our minds. I was taught with those principles as a child. Don't judge people on their looks or their religious beliefs. You judge people on their actions. Okay? But I will judge our politicians on their actions and their lack of them. Okay? Now Justin Trudeau is doing the G7 summit in beautiful Cornwall, Britain, right? Doing the old fist elbow pumps and wearing the mask and social distancing, which is null and void. So we know that's a con, right? Here's a guy that's put this country into fucking debt for the sake of what? We don't have products going out and not enough coming in to justify all this spending. Basic marketing would tell me, okay, we're going broke because these assholes made it happen. Now, I'm also thankful, too, that we have politicians in Parliament right now debating on our behalf, at least the people that want freedom of speech and freedom of expression to reign supreme. Okay. I'm thankful to the fact that I have family and friends that have offered me their homes and offered me assistance when I needed it. And I'm thankful to you, my audience out there, who listens to my show every time I put one out and gives me positive and negative comments alike. I know for a fact this country is not a bigoted, racist nation. And to my American friends and listeners, too, we also know for a fact, too, that America, the United States, is not a bigoted, racist nation. Both of our countries have had a shared history, and we've had our own little racial histories, right? But if you're a person that comes from a certain area of the world that doesn't do so well, you can still find opportunities here in Canada and opportunities in the United States. Okay? You can. I've seen it, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm doing it myself. It might take a little more work, a little more perseverance, a little more elbow grease, but nonetheless, it can be done. And for these clowns that sit in Parliament and dictate and finger wag and stand in the soapbox of the Canadian taxpayer and say otherwise, well, they're fucking wrong too. Because they all agreed to a pay raise during the COVID issue last year. And they also agreed to another pay raise this past April 1st as well. Right? So they're getting paid the big bucks to sit there and talk down to us like we're fucking morons. Well, we're not morons, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? We're able-bodied people. And I mean able as in the mental sense, not just in the physical sense too. We're all capable of making our own decisions. We're all capable of preaching whatever gospel we fucking desire to and to allow to hear or want to hear. Okay? And with the clowns in the background trying to make C10 a reality because they don't want division or they want any kind of critical thinking, then they're not helping, are they? Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, the CRTC has too much regulations already, bringing us crap like CBC. Okay? When was the last time the CBC put up any kind of great show, put together any kind of great series or any kind of broadcasting format that entertained Canada as a whole? When was the last time that ever fucking happened? Maybe sometime in my father's generation or my mother's generation. Not lately, right? See, we have to work on the foundation even deeper too, ladies and gentlemen, not just within ourselves, but within this country. We need a better foundation. And I'm not saying build back better. That's just a fucking con. We don't need to go backwards to build something. We need to go forwards to build something so we can build things together. Okay? We have to build things together. And time will tell if it's better or not. That's simple. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and toot the old virtual horn. I'm not trying to be virtuous. I'm trying to be a realistic human being here. I'm trying to be a humanist. Like the motto I use, humanity and merit wins the day, meaning try best to be good to people and get out there and fucking work for something. That's simple. Okay? But every time I hear our great leaders talk bullshit, this is all I really get from them.
Join the Liberal Party of Canada. We'll tell you what to think, what to do, how to wipe, how to pick your nose. Oh, the name of safety.
And yet the only safety they're promoting, ladies and gentlemen, is the safety of knowing that their feelings are getting hurt. And it's about power and control. That's simple.
Join today's NDP. We'll keep moving the goalposts. You don't walk the line for us, we'll call you racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, homophobic. We look for racism in everything. Please, join the NDP today. And subscribe and donate. Please, walk our line. Thank you.
And that's what it is. We have to walk this imaginary line just so we all stay in sync with whatever fucking mandated proletariat they're throwing down our throats. So like I say, ladies and gentlemen, without the foundation, we got nothing. And I'm talking about a foundation. Okay? The aesthetics come and gone. Aesthetics come and go. Beauty fades. Okay? But the foundation is something that lasts forever. Okay? The foundation lasts forever. So we have to look into ourselves and do better. For ourselves, I'm saying. Okay? Do better as in understanding and be a little more critical. Bring out critical thought. Make sure we ask the tough questions. Again, and I've said this before in the Crusty Canuck podcast. Okay? And then when you ask somebody in power and their response is this.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I have an infection in my ear. Oh.
Well, then you take the proverbial shovel and smack whatever crap is in their ear. Now, I'm not saying physically harm somebody, but I think you catch my drift. It's about standing our ground on what's right, ladies and gentlemen. Standing our ground on what's right. Once again, my condolences to the families and to the friends of those 4 individuals that were senselessly murdered for the sake of whatever. I'm not going to speculate. Maybe this kid did have some affiliation with some right-wing group, right? But we can't be categorized all in the same category. You've heard my points of view numerous times. I'm libertarian-based. I have liberal values, and I also have conservative values. But that doesn't mean I'm conservative, and that doesn't mean I'm fucking liberal, okay? I think more and more conservatives now are coming out of the woodwork to promote proper classical liberalism, meaning I disagree with what you're saying, but I'll fight for your right to say it nonetheless. You know what I mean? That's simple. You know, people that want to live their lives, people that want basic liberty, to go to work, to pay their bills, to have a nest egg, to save their money, to get ahead without some virtual SJW fucking mantra trying to guilt us all the time. Nothing wrong with being black. Nothing wrong with being white. Nothing wrong with being brown. Nothing wrong with being Asian. Nothing wrong with being Jewish. Nothing wrong with being Muslim. Nothing wrong with being a Christian. Nothing wrong with being Sikh. Nothing wrong with being a Jehovah. Nothing wrong with being a Mormon. Nothing wrong with it at all. Because it's okay to be fucking you. And be you to the best of your ability. That's simple. Right? We're supposed to be living in one of the best democracies on the planet. One of the greatest experiments next to our friend in the United States. Right? One of the greatest experiments where we didn't have to have a bloody revolution to gain freedom. Where we didn't have to have a bloody civil strife to gain independence. Right? As far as I'm concerned, we earned our independence back in 1917, April 9th. The Battle of Vimy Ridge, where we showed our British overlords, yeah, we can fucking do this. Right? That's the thing. In regards to the imperfections and problems that our parliamentary system has had, we still have to maintain the freedom to do and the freedom to question and the right to criticize. Okay? So let's get rid of this mandates where you criticize a female politician, you're being sexist. No, you're not being sexist. It's part of being an adult. I myself, I will question a female leader if I think her decision is bullshit. I will question a male leader if I think his decision is bullshit. And I'll question your ethics and your ability if there's money missing or if things aren't getting done. I will question your integrity. I will question your accountability if you can't do the job. And if you think that when someone points a finger at you and calls you out in your bullshit, if you think it's misogynist or sexist or misandric or racist, then maybe you shouldn't be in that position. Eh? I always thought post-secondary educational institutions gave you that insight to be a critical thinker. But I guess now that's null and void, right? Because you have to go to school and walk a certain line, pay a small fortune doing it, and then all of a sudden you're part of the collective, right? Kind of like the Borg. Holy shit over. What a shit show.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, carrying on with more shameful politicians and the foundation. Like I say, you can have the beautiful house, the most beautiful house on the block or in the country or the rural area. But without its foundation holding it up, you really got fuck all. And it's up to us to hold each other up to the best of our abilities, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to us to make sure that we can hold the foundation of this country up to what it is. Right? Like I said in the last episode, we have to investigate and go thoroughly through all the records that we can in regards to residential schooling. A very, very dark chapter in history that I'm not fucking proud of, but we need to learn about it. We need to learn more about it. What was motivating these politicians? What was motivating the church to do those nasty fucking things? And try to find light at the end of that dark tunnel. Okay? Let's stop worrying about people's sexuality. Let's stop worrying about the whole coloring book of something. Let's stop worrying about how we have to make everything so colorful and primal and unicorns and fairy farts and pixie dust. Because without the proper binding of said book, you still got nothing. Okay? You can go through the coloring books you want. You can go through the encyclopedias you want. Without those books being binded properly, held together by the integrity of the rest of the country, we got fuck all. And we can keep that. We can fight for that. Let's fight for the better foundation. Let's fight for the better binding. So when we look at our beautiful Prismacolored books, we can see the diversity based on the ideas, based on the principles, based on actual suggestions, based on actual facts, rather than worrying about offending people. Okay? We can do this, ladies and gentlemen. I know we can. I believe in my soul we can. We can do this together. But I'm not going to sit here and toot the old horn, pull out my guitar, and sing Kumbaya. But I will say this. We got to look after our foundations because they're beginning to crack. And we keep allowing these shitheads that we call our leaders to do it. We can do better. So, anyway, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 12th of June, 2021. I'm going to go outside, finish some gardening. I've got some more seeds to plant. I've got some green beans I'm going to plant this year. So hopefully I'll have a nice green bean crop. Green bean crop. I'm saying that 3 times. I got some tomatoes planted, some potatoes planted, so I'll get my beans done. We had some rain here the past few days, so things were pretty wet, but the ground is nurtured and fertilized, so start planting. Get things done. Anyway, there's not going to be a fastball this Sunday. I'm working, but there will be a fastball next Sunday for the 20th, so stay tuned to that for updates, and if you like and hear what you see, please share, subscribe, all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out my shop at customizedgirl.com. I'll leave links in the description for you to follow. I'm getting some new items in the works as we speak. Go get yourself some Crusty Canuck swagger, hats, T-shirts, all that good stuff. The ladies out there, I've got a line of one-piece swimsuits for you to choose from. So bring out your inner Baywatch this summer and get yourself some Crusty Canuck swagger, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, please join me on Supercast if you can. $5 a month gets you all of my Crusty Canuck episodes, audio. Not only are you supporting a Canadian-based company, but you're also supporting a podcaster like myself. I like to make this a full-time commitment, so please consider donating today. And there's other links where you can donate to if you feel like it. I'm not going to sit here and beg for cash and all this like other OnlyFans and other people do, just for the sake of, oh, look at me, I'm so pretty. I'm not pretty. I never tend to be pretty, but I've got something to say. And it takes viewers and listeners such as yourself to make that happen. And I'm grateful to the subscribers I have today. So thank you once again to all my new subscribers out there. And nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 12th of June, 2021. Let's do what we can to help each other out, and pay attention to the hidden details too. Let's be critical. Ask the critical questions. Ask the critical questions. Criticize the powers that be. Why not? We can still do it. Fight C10. Stand up for what's right. Fight for this democracy. Fight for our friends' democracies. Fight for each other in these trying times. Let's not the manufactured darkness take away the light that we can project to make our lives even easier. So like I say, look after your friends and loved ones. Do what you can to help each other out to the best of your ability, ladies and gentlemen. Love who you can. Love well. And remember, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worth.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.